There is a moment every parent knows way too well. You have said the same thing 4 times already. Your voice is getting louder, your patience is getting thinner, and your child is sitting right there, fully alive, fully conscious, acting like you are speaking in a language that does not exist. If you have ever stood in your own home feeling completely invisible to the tiny human you are responsible for, you are not losing your mind and you are definitely not alone. What is actually happening in those moments is a lot more specific than most parents realize, and the fix is a lot more achievable than you might think. This video is going to walk you through exactly why your child has mastered the art of not hearing you and exactly what you can do to change that dynamic for good. Every single part of what you are about to hear connects to the one before it, so the smartest thing you can do right now is set your speed to 1.5 or 2 times and let it all play through from start to finish without jumping around. The parents who get the best results from this are the ones who take it all in, so let us get into it. Here is something that might sting just a little, but stay with it because this is where everything starts to make sense. Think about the last time you told your child to do something. Maybe it was to put their shoes on. Maybe it was to come to the dinner table. Maybe it was to stop doing the exact thing they were doing and do the thing you needed them to do. Now think about what happened when they did not move. Did you say it again, and then maybe one more time, and then perhaps one more time with a slightly different tone, and then maybe you just did the thing yourself or let it go entirely because you were tired and you had things to do? No judgment here at all because every parent on earth has been in that exact loop. But here is what your child's brain was doing the whole time. It was taking notes. This is point 1 out of 5, and it is the foundation of everything else you are going to hear today. Children are not ignoring you because they are broken or bad. They are ignoring you because they have run an experiment hundreds of times and the results keep coming back the same. They have learned that when you speak, there is a very high chance that nothing is actually required of them yet. The first time you say something, nothing happens. The second time, nothing happens. By the third or fourth time, maybe something happens, maybe it does not. And so their brain, which is actually incredibly efficient, has decided that the first few rounds of whatever you are saying can safely be filtered out. This is a learned behavior. And the slightly funny part, if you can laugh about it for just a second, is that you taught it to them. Not on purpose. Not because you are a bad parent. But because repetition without consequence is one of the most effective training tools that exists, and you have been using it to train your child to wait you out. The good news is that what was learned can be unlearned, and the way you unlearn it is by changing what happens after the first time you speak, which is exactly where this video is going. There is a parent out there right now who genuinely believes their child has a hearing problem. They have considered it. They have maybe even Googled it. Because how else do you explain a child who can hear the sound of a snack bag opening from 2 floors away but cannot seem to hear you calling their name from the next room? That gap is real. And it is not about hearing at all. This is point 2 out of 5, and this one is going to make you rethink the way you give instructions entirely. Child psychology research is very clear on something that most parents never get told. The way an instruction is delivered is just as important as the instruction itself. When you call out to your child from across the house, their brain does not process that the same way it processes someone standing right in front of them, making eye contact. When you give 3 instructions in one sentence, their brain holds on to maybe one of them and lets the rest go. When you are looking at your phone or cooking or doing something else while talking, your body language is telling them this is not that serious, even if your words are saying otherwise. And for children with ADHD, this is even more pronounced. The ADHD brain needs something very specific to register an instruction as something that requires action right now. It needs proximity, meaning you are close. It needs eye contact, meaning they can see that you mean this. And it needs one clear and simple thing being asked, not a paragraph. When those 3 things are not present, the instruction basically dissolves before it ever reaches the part of their brain that would act on it. This is not your child being difficult. This is your child's brain operating exactly the way it is built to operate. And once you start delivering instructions the way their brain is designed to receive them, the difference is almost immediate. Okay, so this is the part of the video where things start to get really good. Because if you have made it here, you are already thinking differently about this whole situation, and that shift in thinking is exactly what is going to change things at home. Point 3 out of 5 is one that a lot of parents resist at first, but end up coming back to again and again because of how well it works. Here is what happens in your child's brain when your voice is consistently raised or emotionally charged during instructions. At first, the high emotion gets their attention, but over time, their brain adapts. It starts to categorize that elevated tone as the normal setting and it stops responding to it as a signal to act. It becomes background noise. This is why parents who shout a lot often find that shouting stops working entirely over time. The volume that once snapped their child to attention now barely registers because their brain has filed it under normal household sounds. Calm, firm, and consistent is the combination that actually works. Not soft, not passive, calm. There is a big difference. A calm voice that follows through every single time trains the child's brain to take the first instruction seriously because they have learned that calm does not mean optional. It means this is happening. That recalibration in your child's brain takes a little time, but it is one of the most powerful shifts you will ever create at home. Now, I want to take a quick second here because if you are watching this and your child has been showing signs of ADHD, like the homework battles, the not listening, the constant need to repeat yourself, I put together something that is going to help you in a very real and practical way. It is called the Homework System for ADHD Kids, and it is a program specifically designed to help your child get through their homework faster, with less resistance and way less stress for everyone involved. The same principles you are learning in this video, working with how your child's brain actually functions instead of against it, are built into every part of that program. The link is in the bio. Go check it out because it was made for exactly the situation you are in right now. This is point 4 out of 5, and this one is a lesson that once you truly absorb it, you will never parent the same way again. It is that important. And the reason most parents miss it is because it does not look like a discipline strategy at all. It looks like something much simpler. But do not let that simplicity fool you, because what you are about to hear is backed by decades of research in child development, and it is the thing that separates parents who constantly struggle to be heard from parents whose children genuinely want to cooperate. Children are wired to follow the lead of people they feel close to. This is not just an emotional truth. It is a neurological one. The brain of a child is constantly assessing its relationships and using those assessments to decide how much resistance or cooperation to offer. When a child feels genuinely connected to a parent, when they feel seen, heard, and valued in the everyday moments of life, their brain is far more likely to respond cooperatively when that parent gives an instruction. Connection is not a reward you give your child for good behavior. It is the environment you create that makes good behavior far more natural and far more frequent. The problem is that in many homes, most of the interaction between parent and child during the week is correction-based. Do this, stop that. How many times have I told you, put that down, hurry up? And while all of those things are necessary parts of parenting, if that is the primary texture of your relationship, your child's brain starts to associate your presence with pressure. And a brain that associates someone with pressure will naturally try to create distance from that person, which looks a lot like not listening. Building small moments of genuine connection every single day, a conversation about something they care about, 5 minutes of playing something they chose, noticing something good they did and saying it out loud, these things are not extras, they are the actual work. And when you do them consistently, getting your child to listen stops feeling like a battle and starts feeling like a natural extension of the relationship you have built. Before we close everything out, I want you to sit with something for just a moment. Think about a time in your own life when someone kept changing the rules on you. Maybe it was a job where the expectations shifted constantly depending on someone else's mood. Maybe it was a relationship where you never quite knew where you stood. Think about how exhausting that was. Think about how hard it was to give your best effort in an environment that felt that unpredictable. Now think about what your child experiences when the rules at home shift based on how tired you are, how stressed you are, or how much energy you have left at the end of the day. Point 5 out of 5 is about consistency, and it is the piece that holds everything else together. You can have perfect communication, you can stay calm, you can build connection every day. But if your follow-through is inconsistent, if the consequence you promised sometimes happens and sometimes does not, your child's brain will always find the gap. Not because they are manipulative, because they are smart. And a smart brain in an unpredictable environment will always look for the pattern that tells it when the rules actually apply. Consistency does not mean being rigid or robotic. It means that when you say something, it happens every time. Even when you are tired, even when it is inconvenient, even when giving in would be so much easier in the moment. Because every single time you follow through, you are making a deposit into the part of your child's brain that decides whether your words mean something. And over time, those deposits add up into a child who listens the first time. Not because they are afraid of you, because they have learned through repeated experience that when you speak, you mean it. That is the version of parenting that actually feels good for both of you. And it starts with deciding that consistency is not optional. It is the whole thing. So here is where we land. Your child is not ignoring you because something is wrong with them. They are responding to a system that was built slowly over time through repeated patterns, and your job now is to build a new one. You learned today that children tune out words that have never had real consequences behind them. You learned that how and where you deliver an instruction changes everything about whether it lands. You learned that calm is power, that connection drives cooperation, and that consistency is the language every child's brain understands and responds to. You now have 5 tools that most parents never get, and the version of your home that is possible when you actually use them is so much better than what you have been living in. Going back to repeating yourself 10 times, raising your voice, and hoping for a different result after everything you heard today would genuinely be leaving a better life on the table. You are too invested in your child to do that. And if your child shows signs of ADHD and the homework piece of this has been a particular battle in your home, go click the link in the bio right now and check out the homework system for ADHD kids. It is the practical next step that takes everything you learned here and applies it directly to one of the hardest parts of the parenting day. Your child deserves that support, and so do you. Now look at your screen, because the next video is already there waiting for you. The algorithm does not guess. It knows exactly what you need to hear next based on where you are in this journey. Click it now. Do not stop here.